Of Primacea, Inc.
Primacea.
Primacea, sorry. Stephen, sorry about that. Steve, would you tell us about the business?
Absolutely. Primacea was formed out of the frustration that a doctor at Mass General had. His name was Michael Jaff, and he was seeing that there's a lot of controversy in industry or in public about doctors who are consulting for medical companies, inventing new drugs and devices. The controversy wasn't around what did they do. In fact, we depend on these inventions to keep us alive. But it was rather the money that the doctors received. So his concern is that he and many of his peers, in fact about half of the doctors that do this sort of work, dropped out of consulting, dropped out of inventing new medical devices and cures, because they were afraid that bad publicity would reflect poorly on them. And so we were formed in order to give the doctors the comfort and protection they need to do the good work they're doing. We handle sort of the business and regulatory legal aspects for them.
Now, you're a serial entrepreneur yourself, right?
Yes?
What makes someone a serial entrepreneur? What made you into a serial entrepreneur?
Generally being frustrated with a problem, and then another problem, and another problem after that. I mean, for me, most times, I start a company when something bothers me. It's too expensive, it takes too long, it seems frankly kind of stupid in some ways, and I think someone should do something about this. And then I think, and when I find no one else is doing it, I might decide maybe I'll be the one that does something about it.
Can you give us an example?
Absolutely. So years ago, dozens of companies were trying to shrink electronic products that might, say, be the size of a backpack. And they want to be in the size of what we might call an iPhone, or back then a TV remote control. And a lot of projects in this space didn't work out because either it cost too much money or because the tools, the software needed to design these products were made for older technologies that didn't work. So I started a company called Interchip Systems to solve that problem.
So you made new software.
Absolutely. But first we designed more than 100 products the old-fashioned or hard way. We learned a lot from this hand-on experience. But we didn't just grind out the work. So we practiced doing the work in a way that we could eventually automate. So it meant that it took us, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 times as long sometimes to design a product. But like I told my members of my company, that's what nights and weekends were for. So we ground it out, we learned along the way, and then after a couple of years, we had software that could do in a few minutes what used to take weeks, 80-hour work weeks to put together.
Are there other examples of this?
Absolutely. So let me tell you a little bit more about that, though, because it's more than just doing a better mousetrap. Instead of coming, we had a better solution, but there were dozens of companies that said, oh, we're the best in the industry, we can do anything. And so how does a small company, in my case I started with $8,000 and a whole bunch of frequent flyer miles, how does a small company compete with dozens of competitors, some of whom are million-dollar companies? And our answer was to ally ourselves with the best firms and to be able to say, as we were eventually, we do work for IBM, we do work for Intel, let me show you what we've done. And with these frequent flyer miles, travel constantly, go to every conference, go to every meeting in the industry, meet with a customer at the drop of a hat, do whatever it takes to be in front of a customer and to learn. And in the process of doing that, we wound up getting these name brand clients, and eventually we got partnerships. So in one case we partnered with DuPont. DuPont was making a material that was necessary for making these products, we designed it. And because of our work with them, they were kind enough, out of their own self-interest, to run magazine ads, full-page magazine ads, with both their logo and ours at the top. And from that experience, we were able to leverage that success into starting an industry consortium together with more than 100 companies in the industry. And that led to another, 50, 60 customers of ours. So that